This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Jeff Galloway, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 195 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
We're back.
We are back, baby.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2022.
Yay. I'm so excited that we're kicking off the year with recapping one of our favorite race weekends from 2021. In December, the Jeff Galloway half marathon weekend in Atlanta.
Yeah, this little thing that we like to do every year and getting to go back.
And really to see it back in its full glory.
Yes.
Also is great. And come on, Atlanta and the surrounding kind of suburbs, it's an embarrassment of riches as far as food and beverage go.
It really is. If you are a runner, of course, Atlanta is known for some amazing road races. The Jeff Galloway weekend being one of them.
I mean, he won the Peachtree, and they are known for that.
They are absolutely known for that one. And if you are a foodie, absolutely every kind of food you could want is there.
Imagine.
In addition to the amazing American Southern cuisine that you can partake in while you are down in Atlanta.
So true.
So, yes, the embarrassment of riches comment is spot on because that is one thing that I do miss about living in the metro Atlanta area.
Well, you went to college there, so you had a chance to, experience.
Oh, yes. And boy, did I. That freshman 15 was a real thing for me.
God, it probably would have been the freshman 100 for me. But to be fair, it has grown since you went to college there in terms of breweries, in terms of places to get amazing bites as well.
Absolutely everything. And one thing that we've learned over the years of returning to Atlanta, of course, is that some of those favorites are not always there anymore. Oh. So we have had some that I enjoyed in college and afterwards that we enjoyed together.
Oh, yes.
That are no longer there. Yep. However, we have found some amazing new places that we are excited to bring all of you. And in this episode and in coming episodes, we're also going to be bringing you kind of a revisit of some places to kind of check in on them to see how they're doing.
This is a unique time in our history, anyone's history, because the events of 2020 and 2021 have impacted the service industry, the restaurant industry, breweries, distilleries, and
supply chain, everything.
And we know this and we hear about it all the time, but we want to give love to those places that we have visited and shared with you. And we want you to know they're still there if you make it to one of our race destinations that we featured on the show.
Absolutely. And so we think it's important to revisit some of those locations. So if any of these places in the next couple of weeks sound a little bit familiar, that's why.
Mm-hmm. But we have new stuff too.
But we have some great new stuff to bring everybody in this new year.
Oh, I am just 2022.
Come on, buddy. You can do it.
Can't wait for you to show us what life can really be like for a runcationer.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying.
So here's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about only one of the races for the Jeff Galloway half marathon double G weekend.
But that's because we have the embarrassment of riches that we just spoke about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Barb's 5K.
I'm so excited.
Which is
we need to get her to do a little intro for our show.
We do.
We really do, because I love hearing Jeff at the top of this episode. It would be even better if we had them both together in that.
That would be great.
Oh,
We'll have to work on that.
We'll work on that. We'll see.
So we're going to talk about that race. We're also going to be revisiting a local favorite of people who live in Atlanta that has over the years expanded outside of the Atlanta area.
And I don't think we've ever done it on an episode proper. We've talked about it on live chats, but I was just doing a search of our website.
Yes.
5 years is a lot of content, and we've done a lot of beer chats, and we've had a lot of support in those 5 years. We're very lucky to have gone almost 5 years.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're like, well, did we talk about that in a live, or did we talk about that in an episode? So I was checking our website, and nothing comes up for episodes on the Flying Biscuit.
Excellent. Well, yes.
But if we're wrong, let us know. info@runeatdrink.net.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about the Flying Biscuit Cafe. This is absolutely one of my favorites. As a college kid living in Atlanta, wanting a nice place for breakfast or brunch on a weekend. And we got to share this experience.
We did.
With one of our patrons, friends of the show, friend of ours.
Oh, yes.
Positively Polly1.
On Instagram, or you know her as JoJo.
Yeah.
Joanne. She was amazing to us. She was our Lyft and Uber driver a lot of this weekend. She
was like, would look at me with disdain when I was like, "Are you sure you don't mind driving?" She's like, "Really?" But it was so great to connect and spend so much time and check out places together with a member of the Runcation Nation. And we had a blast. I mean, we just really hit it off. Yeah. And this is why I'm looking so forward to doing more meetups over this year.
I'm so excited about it.
So we have a lot to talk about. We actually recorded that segment live in the restaurant.
Yay.
So I can't wait to share that.
So good. It's so hard to be wanting to, okay. Yes, we're in a training cycle for Donna. Yes. I want to be
eating clean,
healthy, and eat clean, and end up at the start line as healthy as I possibly can. But when we revisit these,
I want cheese grits and fried green tomatoes.
I want it all
that sort of stuff. Yes. Oh, yeah. I know.
Just such a great time. Even more, just more time with our people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And speaking of our people.
Yes. Let's give some shout outs.
Some shout outs. Now, I know it's been 2 weeks. We took a kind of hiatus.
We did. We took that time off to do some things on the back end for the podcast, for the websites.
Yes.
We'll talk about a little bit of that at the end of the show.
Okay.
And that's the reason for that hiatus. And then, of course, coming off of the holidays and, just kind of getting your life in order. So we're back.
But in that hiatus, we had a birthday. Meg had a birthday, patron of the show, Main Street Miles Meg on Instagram. So happy birthday to her. You probably saw that on our social media channels because we had that out there.
Oh boy, did we.
And a lot of you gave love, and you're all so great when we put out a birthday of a patron or a podcast anniversary or whatever special date that they want us to celebrate. You all are so good about helping us celebrate that. And we just thank you so much for that. We also had some people do races, and over that 2 weeks, I'm sure I missed a ton. But James Miller Loves to Run did the Rose Bowl half marathon, Pasadena.
Out in California, yeah.
Yeah. And Jessica fought through another round of bad weather. Jessica, Harley Running Gal on Instagram. She fought through it for the St. Pete half.
Yeah, that St. Pete half went off when there was a really, really powerful front coming through Florida.
No lie.
On the leading edge of a cold front, and it brought with it, horrible rain and tornadoes in Southwest Florida and everything. So it was that was a rough one. And I saw her social media posts on that, and they delayed the start, and I didn't catch up till after she was done to know that she had completed it. So I'm glad that race went off.
Me too.
Because
we've experienced
I wasn't sure it was going to happen.
We've experienced that in Key West,
boy,
actually.
did we. Where the whole start arch, the inflatable arch blew away.
So she is a beast, just fighting through those races with bad weather conditions, much like JoJo. Our Runcation Nation is full of people who persevere through all sorts of obstacles to achieve goals and to live their best lives. So if you all would like to be celebrated for any of that, or you would like to celebrate someone else, info@runeatdrink.net.
That's our email.
That's our email. Drop us a line or attach a little audio recording that we could play.
Did you say info@runeatdrink.net?
Send it there. Yes. Or
go old school. Call us at 941-677-2733 and leave us a voicemail.
At 941-677-2733. And we could play it.
We will.
Yay.
All right, so let's talk running.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, we registered for the Double G weekend, and I think we should explain what that is. That is Jeff's challenge weekend, and for that weekend, he offers Barb's 5K, his race, the Jeff Galloway half marathon. There was also a relay event
this year.
And that was a half marathon relay
of, I think, 3 people, 4 people?
Yeah, I think it was 3 people. I think.
Stand by.
Yeah. So you had the option to do the 5K and then either the half or the half relay if you had a team. And the race weekend starts on Saturday. They don't do anything, any running on Friday.
3-person relay.
Very cool.
Just so I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm glad you found it. So there's no running on Friday, but the 5K starts the weekend off, the running part of the weekend off, and that is Barb's 5K. And let's just kind of go through the whole experience. Like we packet pickup expo. You want to start there?
So it was more of a happy gathering at Fidippides.
Yes, Fidippides being Jeff's running store in the Ainsley Mall, strip mall. They're just down the block a little bit from Piedmont Park, where the 5K actually is held.
Yeah. So the packet pickup was there, and Jeff and Barb and Chris Twiggs, his chief training officer, they were all there.
Plus his great staff there at Fidippides as well.
And Fidippides looked fantastic and had plenty of gear, and if you forgot socks or if you needed gels or you needed Body Glide or the like.
Or the airline lost your running shoes.
You could get running shoes. They were well supplied, and they had a whole lot of great volunteers. Some extra milers.
Yes.
At bib pickup. Caroline. Shout out to Caroline. Yeah. So she was the only one I recognized. There may be others, and our apologies if we have missed you. But she's one that we recognized, and it was just great to see those familiar faces. And as you walked into the store, Chris Twiggs was checking everybody's vaccination and COVID testing.
Yeah, you had to do you had the option. You either had to provide
Results.
proof of vaccination or you had to provide proof of a negative test within the last 72 hours.
Right. So we did.
Super easy, super quick, in and out.
Yep.
For that. we actually picked up some nutritional stuff for the
waffles. You got
Stroop waffle. I got the honey stinger Stroop waffles,
which are good.
I like them. They hold up really well in like a running belt or bag.
You just have to have some hydration with you. You've got to for those.
You do. Those are a little bit dry, so
you got to have it.
But the flavor's there.
And I always like sport beans because I know they're not going to do a number on my tummy. They've been tried and true and worked for me throughout the better part of for the entirety of our podcast and for the better part of the running career we've had.
Absolutely. So now this isn't an expo in the traditional sense. There weren't, all these vendors and all this stuff. It was just a small kind of intimate gathering of Galloway runners at Jeff's store. And honestly, it was great. But
what I loved about that was that Jeff was there, and anybody who had questions, was nervous about any part of the weekend, the races, what to do, race strategy, he's always there for photographs, for advice, to show you how to program a run, walk, run timer like he was doing when we came in.
Yep.
It is amazing the closeness that what we have been able to witness in terms of the way Jeff cares about his running community and what he does to support everybody to achieve their goals successfully.
Absolutely. Yeah. I could not agree more. And for him to be so accessible.
He is.
I think that's just what's so unique.
I mean, virtually on email, like if you're not at that race weekend, you could just shoot him an email anytime. If you're not training for his race, if you're training for something else. Yeah.
So let's talk about the course.
Which I love, which hasn't changed.
It has not.
Full disclosure.
This is one of our favorite park runs that we do.
Yeah.
This race starts in the neighborhood of Ainsley Park, which is just outside, literally just across the street from Piedmont Park.
And you could walk to the start parking at Phidippides.
Well, that's literally what the instructions are to do. Park at Ainsley Mall at Phidippides and walk to the start.
And it's not like adding 2 extra miles to your race distance. It's really not like that. The parking lot,
about a quarter mile. And that's a lot of great space for parking and also to congregate with fellow runners like Allison from the Extra Mile podcast. We saw Caroline that morning. We saw Ellie. We saw Bob from Bob is 65 and Dopey. Yep. And we saw Jeff and Barb and kind of followed them to the race start. Yes. And of course, the race start is right there across the street from Piedmont Park. And they have, a little bit of a gathering there. You have the arch, you have the music. They do a little bit of music, and then the national anthem. Yes. To start us off, and they don't really line us up like corrals. He just says, "Hey, walkers be at the back," and then kind of stagger yourself according to what you're thinking your time is going to be. Yeah, and it works out beautifully. So you go off. There's you basically go around a short block in the neighborhood, and very short, and then you cross the street and you head into the park. Downhill to the park, and you see the finish, and you're like, "Hey, that 3 miles went so fast!" But no, you see the finish, and then you veer off just shy of the finish into Piedmont. Yes, and it's fantastic because you can see it's just a beautiful woodsy entry to the park. Yeah, as you walk in, you're actually on an elevated, it's kind of an elevated paved walkway. The entire path is paved for this race. You are looking down to your left. There's a little bit of a drop off and a creek going through there. Beautiful, just beautiful. And if you're not familiar with Atlanta, Piedmont Park is Atlanta's version of Central Park. It's beautiful. It's a very large green space with structures that you can use for recreation. It has a running track. It has a big multi-purpose field, or actually 2 big multi-purpose fields, several water features in the park.
Stone buildings, playgrounds for kids.
Yeah, it is. It's a really nice facility.
My favorite, of course, anybody who has followed the podcast for any length of time knows it's the dog park.
It is the dog park. It's the dog parks.
Yeah, because it's, the dog park, which is divided into, here's the little dog area fenced off, here's the medium-sized dog area fenced off, and then here is the larger one.
Yeah.
And it's so great because when the weather is good, and actually we had a little bit warmer weather than we've had in years past, and no rain.
Not on the 5K day.
Right.
Yes.
Not on the 5K, and we're recapping the 5K. So it was perfect weather for dogs to come and play, and they didn't disappoint.
They did not. In fact, this is probably one of the busiest days we've experienced through the dog park. You're separated from the dogs by the fence.
Yeah.
But normally it's about 28 degrees at the start. We still see dogs out there, but not as many as we did this time. This time it was about 50 degrees.
Yeah, I would say. And the race, you don't have to get up it's not a 2 a.m., 3 a.m. wake up.
I love that so much. Thank you, Jeff.
It starts at 8 a.m. Thank you, Jeff, in the city of Atlanta. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barb.
Everybody, because you don't have to get up at a ridiculous hour. Not that I wouldn't for a race. We all know that. We would do that, and we've done that. But it was nice because it gave some of the dogs time to get in there with their owners so that when we did the 5K, both getting into the park and passing it for the first time, and on the way back, we got to see some cute dogs.
We did.
All sizes.
And then as you head in to the park, you basically are doing a clockwise loop around the park is really what you're doing. There is a little bit of elevation change.
Sure.
But it's not so much or so steep that it really does a number on you, especially for the 5K distance.
That's right. It is just, it's not like 90-degree hills.
No.
You don't have to call it the prettiest half marathon like they do in Kentucky for the Run the Bluegrass.
It is a beautiful
and then have a 90-degree angle or what feels like a 90-degree angle to somebody from Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
But this race for me is just a beautiful scenic park run. No traffic to speak of. One water stop, which you actually pass twice. So effectively, it's 2 water stops, and you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of woodland view. You get a little bit of prepared or landscaped park view. You get city skyline, and then you get some of the older, more historic structures. I think it's just it's got a little something for everybody.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And then of course you come back out,
and I like
where you go in, which is nice.
It's an out and back kind of thing from once you get to the park, so that when we're heading in, because we're back with the run walkers, we can see the faster groups coming back and we can applaud them.
Yes.
So it's nice for the running community to support one another.
And everybody's doing that too, which is great. And what's also really cool is at the end, Barb is there cheering you in.
Yeah. And we got a photo with her when we came out of the park and headed to the archway for the finish line, and we stopped short of the crossing the finish to get the photo with her, which is proof positive that it is not about the finish time for us. Anytime that we are there, I mean, I've achieved a PR during that weekend and it feels really good, but it just felt so wonderful to be back.
Absolutely.
And so who cares?
Well, I had to laugh at that one because the announcer was even like,
you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. You take the photo after you cross the finish line.
And we're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares? We don't care.
And after we crossed the finish line, we were treated to seeing Jeff come across the finish line.
Oh, it was amazing. Yay. What I love about this weekend is that Barb does Jeff's race and Jeff does Barb's 5K.
Yeah.
And she was
She
there.
let him run it.
She let him run it because she's in charge.
Uh-huh.
And whatever she says goes.
And we know he's still, he's on his comeback trail from his cardiac event earlier in 2021. So, he's getting back into getting out there on the courses and running.
Which is great to see. He walked the whole thing from what I understand, or he's got to walk at first so that he can get kind of past the warming up is the hardest for him, according to what Barb was talking about with us over the weekend when we chatted, when we were picking up our bibs and doing like the post-race celebration at Fiddipides afterwards, after the 5K. But it was so great to see him come, and I believe his doctor did the race with him.
Correct. Yes.
Which
was awesome.
Great. So yay.
I thought that was fantastic.
And the medal that we got was a little bit different.
Yeah, they changed up the bling this year, which I thought was really cool. And again, I think that they keep refining and doing better and better medals as you go.
I mean, they started off strong and they just kept getting better.
Yes. Now, I do like this one. It's, got a nice round design. It keeps with using Jeff's color palette of that limeish, avocado-ish kind of green and the like almost a navy blue.
Yeah.
And nice, silver accents, but it's a gorgeous medal that and Danny agrees.
Danny agrees if you can hear her barking in the background. But it's fantastic.
And then the shirts this year were, actually for both races, I believe.
Yes.
Were both long sleeve. So, I mean, it's one of the few races that gives us long sleeve shirts.
I do love a long sleeve shirt. You know me.
I do.
Even if I push up the sleeves.
Well, I was going to say,
love them.
Even here in Florida, we tend to wear long sleeves for protection from the sun or bugs. So we like getting long sleeve shirts, although I believe these were not tech shirts. These were cotton or a cotton blend.
Yes. I think they were a cotton blend, and they were that nice kind of, it's not a light blue. It's not a navy blue.
It's a lighter blue than what they used in the medal, but it's not like a cyan or a sky blue.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and Jeff and Barb were wearing it that morning. So that was great.
So I think that the quality of the medal for a 5K is outstanding, and the shirts were great. So
I think they'll be nice. I like to sometimes when it is a combination. I won't wear it in training or races. I might wear it like on a cold day, or when Florida participates in the one day of winter.
I think we're getting a week of winter this year.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Or just like on a comfortable night out, or hanging around the house. I like it.
I'm with you. So I think all in all, the race experience was fantastic. The course is a favorite of ours. The medal and the shirt were terrific. The only thing that I missed was the post-run party.
I'm so sad about that.
Typically after Barb's 5K, there's a gathering of runners up at the brewery that's on the hill right next door to Piedmont Park, and that's
where the kids' races were held.
Well, they don't hold it at the brewery,
but you have to go uphill, and it's
the location there is where the kids' races are held.
Yes,
yeah.
I didn't mean to make it sound like they were held at a
doing
brewery.
It at the brewery.
Sorry. Yeah, the kids' races were at the finish line of the 5K.
Yes,
and it was so cute.
Yeah, that was great.
And then so to participate in those and see those kids do those shorter distances and have JoJo actually participate in one of those kids' races.
Yeah.
That was super cute.
I think she did a quarter mile with him.
I don't know. Maybe it was a half mile.
It was one of those distances, and JoJo's like, I thought these kids were going to peter out, and they didn't.
They did. They just kept on going, man. But yeah, there the kids' race is right there at the finish, and then you go uphill you would normally go uphill to Orpheus Brewing, and I hope that they bring that back.
Yeah, we're not certain if that was that Orpheus didn't have staffing or couldn't participate this year or what it was. That ended up getting canceled, and the cost of that was refunded. But, we're hopeful that that'll be back next year, and or this year, this December.
Since it's 2022
it is now 2022, and we'll be excited to participate in that if that's the case.
I'm there, man. Just give me. I love that place.
Oh, 100%.
Great space, great beer,
Great people.
So,
But
and great party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, getting to go and hang out with all your fellow runners. Yeah. Because, depending on your speed, you may not be able to talk much on the course.
True.
And, everybody slows down to, sit down and have a tasting.
Yes. So we had to make an after party of our own.
We did.
Yeah.
And, when you start talking about all this running, it does make me hungry.
I know you were about to say that.
After we've run that 5K, we really did work up an appetite. We didn't do breakfast before the race.
No, we did not.
So when we're talking about breakfast in Midtown Atlanta, one of our favorite places that we have talked about, maybe not on an episode, but we have talked about, is a place that we mentioned at the show intro, and that is the Flying Biscuit Cafe. Now, living in Atlanta and college and after college, they used to only have one location that was in, I believe, Candler Park.
Which is the first one you took me to.
First one I took you to. And historically, that place always on a weekend had a line down the block to get in, to get seated.
And
then they had one side where basically all they're doing is baking fresh cat head biscuits. That's what they call them, because they're the size of a cat's head.
And giving it to you with some apple butter.
Yeah, and no cats are harmed in the making of these biscuits.
Right, or dogs.
Despite
their protestations. You can hear them.
But over the years, they have grown and they became a local chain in Atlanta, and then they have
great for them.
Now ventured out. And I don't know if it's a chain that they own or if it's it may very well be franchising. I'm not sure how that arrangement is, but we always return to one of the first two, and that is either the Candler Park location or the one in Midtown
that we pass during races in this weekend.
Yeah, actually the half marathon runs right by it because it's on a corner, and you run down the street and turn the corner, and you're passing it and going, I'm coming back here after the race. Woohoo! But we went after the 5K.
Yes.
And we were fortunate enough to be able to go there with JoJo.
Yeah.
And the three of us just got to hang out, have beverages, have an amazing meal. So this week we're actually going to be doing not only food,
but beverage from there.
Yes.
Because they had a variety. Now, while they don't have liquor or cocktails, they have beer, wine, sake.
Yeah.
And it goes along great with the food.
Absolutely. So we took the opportunity to, get the microphone out and make a recording there in the restaurant. Join us as we share with all of you the amazing food and beverage from the Flying Biscuit Cafe.
We're live. We're recording.
We are recording from one of our favorite places, 2 years in the making. It is the Flying Biscuit.
In Midtown Atlanta.
Yes.
And we're with one of our favorite people.
Yes, a member of the Runcation Nation. We had a runner meetup at the Barb's 5K this morning, right? Mm-hmm. And how do you like it so far, JoJo?
I love it. Everything about it.
Yay! We have a great server in Ileana, and this place is happening. We waited, 45 minutes to get in here?
Yeah.
So we had a requirement was a post-race beverage.
Yes.
Since
Actually, we were not the only runners looking for post-race alcohol.
no, that's true.
There were several because they were very upset that the post-run
Yes.
meetup at Orpheus didn't happen this year.
This is just a shameless plug, you see, for Orpheus coming back next year.
Yes.
Orpheus, we love you. Please come back. Love the Run Eat Drink podcast. Love so. But we found mimosas and Bloody Marys
Yes.
with a twist here at the Flying Biscuit.
Now you two got something. This is not an orange juice-based mimosa.
You know what I love? It's mango.
It's mango.
But what I love is that they have lots of different options. They have cranberry, they have orange juice, they have
Didn't they have peach? Of
and they
course,
have
it's
peach
Georgia.
And mango, yes, Georgia.
And a strawberry kiwi.
Oh, yeah, she said that at the end. Yes.
But yours, the Bloody Mary,
Yes.
has a twist.
Mine
Tell
does
us about it.
This,
Yes. Tell us about it,
this
Dana.
is fresh tomato juice and sake. Ooh, wow. With a spice mix in here. They asked me if I wanted it hot. I said yes. And
Of course.
this is spicy, but it's not knock your socks off spicy. It builds.
Is it a horseradish kind of thing?
No,
or-
this is more of a red pepper.
Okay. All right.
And they're normally made with vodka, right?
Normally with vodka, a lot of horseradish.
Yeah.
And so sake is kind of a neat twist on it.
It is.
I'm a sake fan, so
Yeah.
How is the taste different in the Bloody Mary?
I think it's actually more subtle.
Okay.
This
The alcohol is more subtle,
Much
or
more.
the okay.
yeah.
So
this actually, you might not even know there's alcohol in this.
You
Really?
have a few. You'd be okay with having a few.
Have an Uber driver
Yes. Yes.
or a member of the Runcation Nation driving you.
Take a taste, by all means.
Sorry.
No, try it. Wait for it.
Oh,
There
the
it is.
spice is later, right?
You saw her face.
The spice is later, but it is like a red pepper rather than a horseradish, that kind of up in your nose, But
That one
yeah.
won't clear your sinuses, but it
No.
gets your attention.
I like it. And it's not, the tomato is also the perfect combination. It's not overly, it's not like a tomato soup kind of thing.
No.
I like it. So true beverage.
Now I know JoJo, you're not a spice head.
I don't like tomato juice.
No tomato
and
juice
you're not a
for you.
tomato juice fan.
So
You're not
there we
gonna
go.
try
Enjoy
that.
yours.
You're not going to try it.
I'll have your sip.
Although I will smell it though. Because you said you could smell the spices.
Ooh,
And there goes Atlanta's
it's a
great.
fire truck.
You can
Right
smell the
outside.
spices for sure in that.
Yeah. But
So,
and the spice kind of coats your throat a little.
now, the deal with y'all's now that I haven't had a taste yet. Is this bubbly?
It's
Yeah.
some
It's
sort
got-
of a bubbly.
Yeah.
But it's not, I think with the mango, it's not, when you typically have a mimosa with orange juice, it's like a dry, like we were talking about, a dry
Yeah.
fruit type of champagne. You don't
So-
taste that.
That's really good.
And you can
Yeah.
really taste the champagne
These
in
can
that
be
one. But
dangerous.
these, you can taste, it's a very subtle mango flavor.
I like
It's
mango
like a fruity.
in things. I will never eat mango on its own unless it's in salsa.
So you like this though, right?
That's very good.
I just don't like, it's like avocado for me. It's too messy to cut up,
Yes.
but I will do this.
It's hard to get. I mean, a mango is very difficult. It's challenging.
I agree.
They don't have, like the saying goes for tequila 1, tequila 2, tequila 3, tequila 4. They don't have that, but I think these could be.
It could be because
Could be
it's
token.
you don't. It's not alcohol. Well, we're only how many sips in? Only a little bit.
Tasting ourselves.
But we have a wonderful meal coming in the breakfast here as a post-race celebration. So,
All right.
Ileana,
Ileana,
we have a question for you.
yes.
What kind of bubbly do they use?
Oh,
I'm going to check and I'll let you know, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah.
because the only that I will is open and
because they're
I
they're
promise
fast.
to you I'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will report back to you on the type of bubbly once Ileana shares that information with us.
And we'll be back with more food once the food gets here.
Oh yeah.
We're back from our little hiatus, and in the meantime, we found out that the name of the bubbly is White Cliff.
White Cliff
White Cliff.
that goes into our mango mimosa.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very nice.
And we've also had our appetizers arrive.
Delivered.
And we're going to find out if JoJo is pro or con on
Pimento
Southern Caviar.
cheese. The caviar of the South, yes. Spicy pimento cheese, hand-breaded and flash-fried, served with a spicy aioli for dipping.
This is just a perfect little like hush puppy sized ball of
And then fried green tomatoes. Classic Southern sliced green tomatoes, seasoned with cornmeal, topped with house-made roasted cashew jalapeno relish, tangy goat cheese, and a side of buttermilk ranch.
okay.
There you are. I'm ready.
All right, ladies.
I think we ought to dig in.
I'm curious about y'all's opinions
Very
on
excited. Very excited. You all are having the fritters first?
these. Fritters first.
Okay.
The crispy exterior
Yes.
is wonderful.
Enjoy. That is good.
JoJo's making a face.
What is this face?
I don't know if I like it.
Oh. Does it have corn in it?
Yes.
This is a very different take on.
It's unexpected.
No, there's no corn in that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's not corn.
What is that?
That's cheese curd.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's got a slight heat or kick that comes in after. I taste it.
You're right. It does.
You don't taste it initially, but it's doable because I'm a spice fan.
And you have enough mimosa to keep
Well, that's true.
it down.
I like it.
This is
I don't know if I would say it's pimento classic.
this is a different take on pimento cheese than I'm used to, but it's not bad.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the pimentos are olives, correct?
It's basically the red peppers that go inside of pimento stuffed olives.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try it with the dip. I'm assuming
Okay.
it's ranch dip.
I assume that too.
Smells like ranch.
The crispy exterior is perfect. They
Yeah.
did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
It's just I expect my pimento cheese to be a little creamier and spreadable almost.
But when you fry it though, it's changing
It's a
the
different type of cheese, though.
it's changing
Yes.
the texture, right?
Yeah.
So I will say, I prefer it dunked in the ranch dressing.
Really?
It gives it a different flavor.
Okay, so the
It's
ranch
not a thick
dressing,
ranch, it's a thinner, right.
so it changes the flavor
It changes,
for you.
me, it changes the flavor. It's doable. I don't think I would order it.
That's okay.
Okay.
But it's not bad.
When I think of pimento cheese, I think of the spreadable, thick. It has just the shreds of cheddar and the red pepper from that's the pimento.
And that's what this is lacking is the shreds of cheddar in,
Yeah.
in it. You're not seeing it. Like,
Yeah,
But,
but
It's the Atlanta version.
yes, it's good.
it is.
It's good. I mean, maybe I'm just craving the classic in a mason jar pimento cheese dip with some bread
crostini.
or yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good.
Now I'm very curious about these fried green tomatoes
Okay.
and this cashew.
This.
What did you say? Cashew or? No, you said
It
it,
is.
was
It has jalapeno and I think pistachio or
pistachio.
Yeah, is what I read.
That is really interesting.
I don't know.
It looks like ground nuts that have like something binding them together.
That's goat cheese.
Now, JoJo,
It
you
looks
said
like
you
a
hadn't
mini
had goat
little
cheese. Now's your chance.
Washing it with jalapenos.
No, you don't have to have that.
Just
Try
have
the
this.
goat cheese because you said you
Oh,
hadn't
that's-
had.
I thought that
You
was
said you
sour
hadn't had goat cheese.
I thought that was sour cream.
No, goat cheese.
It's
Oh,
tart.
she doesn't like it.
The tartness hit her.
Look at her
I
face.
would need it with something. Either add something to the spread,
Which is usually what you get. Usually.
because they also have the goat cheese where they put it on salads too, where it's crumbled though.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen goat cheese in a softer form. I've always seen it on salads,
I like-
like blue cheese crumbles.
I like the goat cheese with the tomato.
Well, and it's probably a good counterbalance.
Yeah.
Or balance.
And the tomato is thinner, thinly sliced,
nice and tart. The tomato's tart
The tomato
on
is
its own, which is nice.
firm.
I'm a fried green tomato fan, though.
Southern thing.
It is a southern thing, very
It
much
is.
so. And the rain is here. The rain has arrived.
And the breading stays on.
This was our appetizers. We'll have a little bit more with the entrees when those get out here.
Yeah.
And the food has arrived.
You probably got my goat cheese.
No, the goat cheese is on yours.
Is it? Okay.
Aside from a little bit of a hiccup with I got your bacon, everything looks pretty darn good.
Everything is better with bacon.
I'm not complaining. And you'll notice that I wasn't willing to just give it up.
I know. So I'm getting a side of
You're
bacon.
getting a side of bacon.
You can order some more.
Like, I'm keeping the bacon. I'm not giving up the bacon. The bowl of grits has their moon-dusted potatoes. Thank you.
Everything good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
They're moon-dusted potatoes, and then you had a choice of protein, and I couldn't choose, so I got bacon and a sunny side-up egg.
Well,
Or
and as
over
it turns
easy.
out,
Over
I
easy.
ended up with 2 over easy eggs and Amy's bacon,
Yes?
and your bacon just arrived.
Yes?
And JoJo got the Three Amigos tacos.
Yes.
And I don't know what's on it, but it is scrumptious.
Ooh. Looks like eggs and something.
I know there's some chicken
Chorizo?
chorizo in there and like black bean. Is that like
Oh,
a?
that's from that black bean cakes.
Ooh, that looks so good.
It's delicious.
So this is a giant bowl of grits, potatoes on top. Amy's cutting into her egg. It's
The
just
egg is perfect.
perfect.
It's wonderful.
What's in here?
Okay.
Eggs,
Eggs, chorizo. They have black beans.
Oh,
Yes. And the salsa.
so good.
And did you taste the green tomato sauce?
Oh, the green tomato sauce. I think this is a salsa.
Taste it. We made it.
Yeah? Do I need a side of that?
She doesn't want it. She give it to you.
Oh.
I share unlike Dana.
That's
Oh.
good. Not me. Get your own.
Thank you, Eliana.
Oh, it's so
That
good.
one's wonderful.
That's
And I will actually. I'll do one of these.
Exactly. Three mangoes.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. I want to place their order and then I'll call
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay?
Our service has been phenomenal. Ileana's been great.
Ileana is fantastic.
That's
So-
why I asked for Eliana, but only come on the weekends because that's all she's here for.
That's
Yeah.
true. I don't know. Their grits here are so smooth and creamy.
I love
They're
them.
not, that's true, because they're not grainy like most grits.
No, this is a very smooth texture.
I love it.
Smooth grit.
I love it.
This is Southern comfort food. And by the way, we have 3 what they would call cat head biscuits sitting on the plate in front of us.
With apple butter.
And they do their
right?
their house-made apple spice
Oh
butter.
my god. So good.
The
Gonna be in a coma.
the biscuit is just
course.
this flaky, insane, perfect layers of
It's important to be in a
flour.
post-race coma because of all the wonderfully rich food.
Now their apple butter has almost a Christmas spice thing to it.
Yes.
Which I think is perfect for this time of year.
I love it. Is it like you remember, Dana?
That one thing that they may have expanded over the years and become now a small regional chain.
Yes.
They have not lost their touch on their biscuits. And JoJo's making a happy face.
Oh, it's so good.
I love any kind of candle. A candle that's this scent.
It's that
It's
warming.
It's relaxing.
It's mulled wine spices in an apple butter.
Yes.
Yes. That's a
Well,
good way.
if you want to make it technical.
I love it. I love the
Absolutely.
biscuit. Just light, fluffy biscuit with that apple butter. I love the bacon. I love the grits. I love the egg.
Now, they have had some changes to the menu since we were here last. They've added a lot of dishes with waffles. So they're doing a chicken and waffle, a couple of different chicken and waffles. They're doing a Georgia peaches and cream waffle, which looked really interesting.
Yeah.
And then they're doing pancake tacos. So it's I'm glad to see they're innovating on their menu, and the menu is still huge.
Yes.
JoJo's making a happy face.
She's happy.
She's having the apple butter. What do you think?
Good, right?
It's freaking fantastic.
She said it's freaking fantastic. So, I would say that of the entire plate that I have.
So keep in mind, this is my first introduction to apple butter.
You've never had it?
Really?
Oh my God.
I'm a Yankee. We don't do apple butter.
Oh my God.
We do jelly.
Well, jelly is also good.
True.
I love butter. I love jelly.
But this,
Apple butter is so good.
I wonder if they sell it.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
You know?
I don't know.
Oh my.
Of course, I think about me for later.
I mean, how can you not? Let's have some biscuits and apple butter to go.
Well, you couldn't go wrong if they do.
Yeah, the biscuits are fantastic.
Yeah. That is what they're known for, and they deliver.
What I love about the biscuit, though, is that a lot of biscuits you get, they're, of course, they're a little harder on the outside. Mm-hmm. It's more firm on the outside, but it's not hard. It's not crunchy hard.
That's true.
You can still sink your teeth into it.
Yes. It does not have the Captain Crunch principle. Where it hurts the roof of your mouth.
Do you need more green tomato sauce, or you are okay?
No, I'm good. But I have another question for you since you're here. Do you sell this apple butter?
We do.
Oh!
I love you.
I love you too.
Will you come home and be my neighbor?
You're in Alabama, no?
Alabama.
Alabama. I'll travel.
Don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. Me too.
I have a new relative.
There we go. Now, one thing that we did have to do to kind of recreate something we liked, they did do away with the original grit bowl that had the fried green tomato on it.
So we
saved the green tomato from the appetizer to put it on here. With the green tomato, it's even more amazing.
Yeah. I love it. I'm happy. JoJo seems happy. You seem happy.
I'm quiet, I'm happy.
We have returned to the Flying Biscuit, and it is not
2 years
disappointing.
later,
Yes.
and I'm really happy that they've been able to come back from the pandemic.
Yep.
And that they're reopened and that the food is still on par. So check them out the next time you're in the Metro Atlanta area or anywhere in the Southeast where they're now. I believe that they're in 2 states. So
good for them.
Good for them. And come on down to Florida. Flying Biscuit.
Flying Biscuit. Yay! Food and beverage from the Flying Biscuit.
An amazing service as well.
An amazing service. And I can't believe that she comes to Atlanta. She just travels to Atlanta when they need her at the Flying Biscuit.
Yeah.
And she is wonderful, so knowledgeable, and just will get you anything you need to make your whole meal wonderful.
I mean, she adopted us in the time that we were there. We got a photo with her at the end.
JoJo kept saying, can we take you home with us, or can we go home with you? Such a great experience with food and beverage and service. It was just the trifecta.
Absolutely. Flying Biscuit, check them out. We will have a link in the show notes. But that's going to do it for this week.
Yeah.
But don't worry. We are back next week with the rest of the Jeff Galloway Double G weekend and some amazing new food and beverage.
New food and beverage, courtesy of another member of the Runcation Nation. Can't wait for that. And we will share with you the half marathon experience. And just what a great comeback, both to this weekend and to that distance.
Absolutely.
For us. Yes. In case you're scrolling through social media and you happen upon our little show and you love it, please share our show on social. Share it to your story on Instagram, which many of you already do, or share it to a running group or on your own social media so that we can grow the Runcation Nation.
If you just take a minute out of your day to share the show, like Amy is saying, that would help us so much.
Many of you bring somebody along, and that is how we meet fabulous people and help to grow our community.
Yeah, buying ads and doing all that stuff, that's great and everything, but
we find the best people when you all share the show.
And we want to make those connections with we're friends, and we want to meet your friends so they can become our friends.
Yeah, or some of you actually bring along people to our live chats.
Do that too. Mm-hmm. But this week, if you would help us share the show, tag us when you share us.
Mm-hmm. So we know.
We would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for listening.
For joining us on your long run, your commute to work, of course, around the house, if you're cleaning, wherever you are. We hope we make the experience more enjoyable. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.